You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Ladies and gents, this is Kevin Kierstead, host of Truth on Tap and Caps on Tap. I hope you're enjoying the show. Truth on Tap is focused on bringing you absolute truth about everything from mainstream media to comedy, from psychology to the paranormal. This show keeps it real, not the fake kind of real, the real kind of real. That same spirit also covers our Caps on Tap show about the Washington Capitals. Caps on Tap shows air only after Capitals wins at this time. Please come like our Facebook page and join the conversation at facebook.com/Truth on Tap show. Truth on Tap has been picked up and promoted by iHeartRadio, the internet audio mega monster, so shows are available there as well as on Spreaker and a limited selection on iTunes. To get in on a show's chat, you can chat from the Facebook page I mentioned or go to www.spreaker.com/user/truth-on-tap and look for the live episode or call in at 910-NO-LYING. That's 910-665-9464. Thanks again for checking out Truth on Tap and Caps on Tap.
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Opening up the truth pipeline for these bitches.
Truth on Tap. Truth.
My right to say how I say it's mine to give. My heart, it's mine to share. My soul's my
Truth on Tap.
You gotta jack it up and recombine it. Truth on Tap is the show. Kevin Kakalaki, North Kakalaki-stead, up in his house, trying to come up with some new words. Why do I use the same shit over and over? I hate repetition. I hate repetition. There's something inherently evil about repetition. Did you know that? I know that. I don't think, it's not just a suspicion. I know there's something inherently evil about the same thing happening over and over and over. You don't realize it, but Groundhog Day was a horror flick to me. I don't like repetition. So I'm not going to pound you with repetition. I'm not going to use the Snoop Dogg at his house so often. I may use Snoopese. Snoop Lionese allows me to put IZZ in the center of a word. I'm allowed to. And the way I look at it, if you ever suffered through English 430 advanced grammar at Christopher Newport University in a fucking packed summer session with no air conditioning, you can say any goddamn thing you want to. And I will. And I do. And you know this, man. Yeah, so here we are, Truth on Tap, Kevin Kierstead. The show is called the Kev's Fatterday, noontime news and comedy. Gonna be freestyle, never have a plan, but I will make a confession because I like to do that. Did do a little bit of planning. I did a good 2 minutes. That's the most planning I've ever done for a show. I put no less than 120 seconds, maybe even up to 150 seconds of planning into the episode you're listening to right now. Now, the big question, the one in the background, is will that make a difference in the quality of my production? Because I have prided myself for the almost 1 year I've been doing this show. Thank you everybody. Yeah, they're clapping, you just don't hear them. Because they're out there. They're listeners, so it's not like I have a live audience here. Now, you will hear radio shows. Let me do a little quick derailment here. In which the host or hostess will do something that they believe is relatively praiseworthy. It could be something as simple as their intro. And they will essentially insert an applause track, if you will. And I find that unnerving. Because there is, especially when it's in an intro, and I got a couple friends that do it. Look, I'm not beating up on you guys, okay? But if I'm listening to your show, and I hear your music start, your intro, just like mine, and then this loud applause, I think that you're trying to make me, the listener, think that you've got a bigger production than you do. And maybe that's the name of this game. And maybe that's why I'll never dominate it. And that's okay with me. Because let me tell you what I'm doing here. I'm one guy on a fucking laptop. That's it. There's nothing more complex than that in my setup. I got a shitty DSL connection. I got a 7-year-old computer that needs to be drop-kicked. I have a headset that's already been chewed on by my cat. But I do have fantastic software, Radio Boss. And I got to give them a shout out. My Russian friend that made this software actually put in a feature that I asked for. That kicks ass in a major way. I don't like Russian politics, but there are a few Russians I like. Alexander Ovechkin's one. In Russian, that's actually pronounced Alexander Ovechkin. So, get it right, I say. But Ovechkin, oven chicken, whatever you want to call him. Best hockey player to ever lace up the skates. When he's trying, he's been a slack bastard these last couple of years. Yeah, he can score 50 goals still, but he doesn't do anything that makes him sweat. I don't like that. I don't approve of that. Still better than Sidney Crybaby. That's all I got to say. Like a couple of Russians. I like this Dmitry guy, the guy that made the Radio Boss software. He don't fuck around. Check out Radio Boss. I think it's radioboss.com or .net. Google that shit. You'll find it. And while we're doing a little shout out here, my man Wes Johnson. Wes Johnson, you heard him do the intro. You'll hear him do voiceovers throughout the show. He is the greatest voice ever. Ever. Now, I know we don't have recordings of, say, the hordes of Mongols from the east. And maybe Kublai Khan had a kick-ass, bass-driven, nasally voice that would have made the mummies rise in Egypt if only they could have been close enough to hear it. I don't know. I'm just talking about since we've had recorded audio. So that's my ever in this case. Wes Johnson dominates voice. He dominates voice. He does it in the arena, calling Capitals games. He does it on radio when he's on radio. He used to do radio. He used to do real terrestrial radio, not my shit, not my one-man band operating on a laptop. He also has been in movies, and he's an incredibly talented guy. You got to check him out. WesJohnson.com is how you find him. Moving along, done with any of that stuff that sounds almost... I didn't plan that. I didn't plan to give shout-outs like that. I just do shit on this show. That's not part of the plan. One guy we're going to be talking a little bit about today to try to give you a semi-guide, if you will, to this particular episode, and it's not going to be detailed, so don't get your hopes up. LaBeouf. You know who I'm talking about? Okay, I don't follow Hollywood too closely. Never really have. After I turned about 25, I was completely out of fucking touch with Hollywood. If it wasn't Schwarzenegger or Stallone or Denzel Washington or somebody that was really at the top 10 or 15 actresses list, I didn't know them. And I sure as hell don't follow them and what they do on a daily basis. So I don't know this guy. Don't know what his lifestyle is. But what he has done this time, let's forget about his history. He's got a history. What he has done this time has highly entertained me, and we're going to talk about it. And the reason that it entertained me is that's my kind of comedy, and I doubt he meant it as comedy. Maybe he did, but I think he's just fucked up. I love what he did, and we're going to laugh about it. I did something similar to what he did. Now, I was 17, trying to impress a friend. You know how peer pressure is, and my friend was the class clown. I wanted to make him laugh. I figure if I could make the class clown laugh, I must be funny. But you wouldn't believe how extreme I would have to be sometimes to get this class clown to laugh. Even when we were in, just private doing our own thing, camping, anything. It just, to try to get him to laugh sort of gave me a measure of whether or not I could be funny. I didn't need to make everybody else laugh. If I can make this guy laugh, who has already thought of and heard just about everything, well, then I've got a chance with comedy. And I did. I worked really hard. And you're going to hear about something I did in his presence just to make him laugh that I would have never done were I alone or with other people. And it has a direct correlation to what Le Boeuf, which in French should actually be La Bouffe, but he even pronounces it LaBeouf from what my sources say. And since I have the inside CIA, FBI connections, I know the pronunciation of LaBeouf. I wouldn't expect you, the common man, to have that. But see, I have sources. So I know he says LaBeouf. I know that. How you doing on this Fatterday, huh? June 28th, 2014. There are days that have passed that I didn't think I'd live to see this day. I didn't think I'd live this long. I mean, I'm 42 now, just turned 42. I'm twice the age that you have to be to drink in this country, and I don't drink. So I think that when you hit that age, you should get like an award, like if you're not a drinker, maybe they should send you some heroin. I mean, I've never done heroin, but I would like to think that I deserved something like that, some kind of high. You know, I made it to twice the legal age to do dumb shit legally. But not, if you're drunk, it's not legal. It just depends where you are, what you're doing. I've got a report up today in the news about how they're acting like there is this major discovery. NBC came out with this shit. The NBC, now I don't really have much against NBC. I don't want to make this sound more deep than it is. It's very topical, what I'm about to say. They'd like to take old news and dust it off on a slow news day and throw it up there like it's, a new study will come out or something, but it's telling you the shit you already knew. Maybe you didn't know the numbers exactly, but you pretty much knew. Alcohol's a problem. It kills a lot of motherfuckers. 1 out of 10 in this country dying because of alcohol. It's worth, working age people anyway, it's worth talking about, They attack cigarettes like crazy, but you can go get drunk and go on a fucking tirade like LaBeouf, and it's funny. It's waved off. It's, well, he can't handle his alcohol. I don't know. Maybe we ought to talk about alcohol. I know a little about alcohol. Been affected in my life from several angles on the alcohol front, and the things that I've done that I regret the most in my life were under the influence of alcohol, and I was never an excessive drinker. Just when I did drink, I did really dumb shit that didn't make sense half the time. It's like the thinking part of my brain was turned off. And, of course, to some degree it is when you get into areas of subduing the prefrontal cortex and other areas that are you become the caveman, essentially. You wipe away civilized behavior when you get drunk, for most people. Now, some people that can end up in just the giggles and a high relaxation feeling. Others, you turn into animals. You know the people. Some are like that. That's just the way it is. I'm a guy, at least when I was younger, I don't know about now, I would kind of turn into an animal when I drank. It would be taking away the coding of civilized behavior and the feeling of a conscious effort to fit in with social norms and guidelines. Right back to, I'm a fucking animal in a cage and people are poking at me, and I get like that sometimes still, if I'm really stressed and I feel like someone's poking at me. It takes a lot of provocation. If you haven't and you're interested at all, check out my book called Addie's Boom and the Blast Frontier. The main character in there has a provocation. That's how he got his name, Boom. You had to poke at him a lot, and then he would explode. And that was one character trait of mine that most people don't know about, because I rarely explode, that I went ahead and put into my main character, I thought it was interesting. I've never put that into a character before. So Addie's Boom and the Blast Frontier, it's called. You could just Google my name, Kevin Kierstead, K-I-E-R-stead as in steady, and you'll see my books for sale on all the major sites. If you go and get it at Smashwords, it's free. Or you pay what you think it's worth. So technically, if you're a cheap motherfucker that doesn't care that I put a few hundred hours into that book, well, then you get it for free. There you go. Oh, June 28th, 2014. My girlfriend and stepdaughter-to-be are at a car wash right now, raising funds for a school trip that's going to happen next year. Good for them. Beautiful day here in southeastern Virginia. I would like to be outside. I'm getting better. Thank you. I'm getting better. Getting better from the sickness that I had. I feel it's not just the feeling of, okay, my stomach's not hurting too bad anymore. The cramps aren't too bad. I'm not glued to the toilet all the time. It's a feeling of energy. You may not know what good health feels like until you start losing it. So when it comes back, you can literally feel electricity in your extremities. It's the strangest thing, especially if you've been low on salt and dehydrated and you get that back in. You can just feel things starting to work normal again, that if you've never felt them not working normal, you wouldn't recognize this feeling. But, oh, what a gift that feels like once you've lost it to a sickness. And I am so totally appreciative of the improvement in my condition. I think it was just a major attack of IBS or possibly celiac disease. I don't know. This is the first time in my life I've ever had to deal with stomach issues, and it came right out of the blue. So it really caught me off guard. I had to start watching everything I ate. Couldn't have anything with wheat. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I could eat anything. And now I gotta do that. You know, it's like, I didn't need that. I didn't need another condition under which to live happily. You know, strict requirements coming down on me. Didn't need that. Got enough going on. Do you ever have that? You get a brand new life-altering situation that you do not need on your plate. I have some theories about Mother Nature, and I think that bitch is trying to kill you from before you're even conceived. Maybe it's for the better. Maybe she's shaping a tougher set of species out there, but she's coming at you. She's trying to kill you. I think we were unlikely, and I believe there are aliens in the universe, but I think life was unlikely statistically, and it had to beat the odds. So she's not very friendly. She is not very friendly. You stand on a mountaintop and look out at everything, and that's all great, except when you don't notice the goddamn grizzly bear coming at your back that's about to maul you to death. She's not very nice. Mother Nature didn't necessarily want you here. You are here in spite of her. Maybe that's the wrong way to look at it. Look at this. My goodness. I just happened to have Facebook up, and I got a friend, Harley Hendricks, what up, shout out to my homegirl in New York, put up a table. It's a picture of a table, and I got to share this. It looks like a Viking longboat. It's fucking awesome. And Vikings are my ancestors, so I'm kind of like, it's a big deal to me. I got to share this. I got to put this on the show page. If you don't know yet, and you should know, motherfucker, if you don't know yet, you can get to the Facebook page for this show where you can put in requests for show topics and you can make comments on shows by going to facebook.com/truthontapshow. facebook.com/truthontapshow. And right now, the show has been announced there. That's all automated now. Thank you for that, Spreaker. I am putting a link to this badass Viking longboat table. These are my people. I feel a deep connection to them. My dad went and did the research and found we were directly linked to the Norse Raiders. And since then, I've been a little fascinated because I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to or actually done this. Get in a boat, get drunk, and do something crazy. Yeah, done it before, and not proud of it, but I feel like there's got to be something. There's something handed down the line. You know, Vikings discovered America. I don't know if you know that, but Chris Columbus, you were a little late to the draw. And when I say discovered, yes, there were already natives here. I'm talking about the first foreign power to discover the new land of America. Vikings had this bitch down, came and left. They get bored easy. They're not good with anchored civilizations. They make beautiful civilizations, but they're like, back on the boat, back to war. We're going to tear some shit up, bring the rum, don't forget the rum, and let's set sail in this bitch. So look at that. It's a Viking longboat table, and the backs of the chairs are shaped like fucking shields. Holy shit. If I were a rich man, that thing would be up in my house tomorrow. My God. Look at that. I'm drooling over this. This is not something I planned. I have these tabs open when I do the show. Some of you guys may know, some of you may not. Usually a news tab, usually a Spreaker tab so that I can monitor the show. Sometimes it'll cut out or something, and, I have to occasionally just click play and hear the feedback and make sure it's broadcasting. Yeah. Who the hell's calling in? I'm not ready for a call yet. I'm sorry, but I'm not ready for a call yet. So how do I stop the call? No, not ready for a call yet. Sorry. No, I'm not ready for a call yet. Don't call me yet. God damn it. Calling into my show when I haven't even finished my intro shit. You've lost your fucking mind. So Harley shared this. I found your new. No, I want this. I think I want this. I'm typing. Must have. That's just something. Look at that. Who came up with that idea? What a brilliant mind must have come up with that idea. Yeah, that's just beautiful. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm very distracted by this. We're getting back to the show topics now. We were talking about news earlier. LaBeouf. Let me tell you what this guy did. First of all, I got to check and see if you people are in chat. You can get to chat by going to either the Facebook page, I told you the address earlier, facebook.com/truthontapshow, or you can come on into the Spreaker show, which is Spreaker.com/user/truthontap. I don't know how you're listening right now, so some of this may be redundant, but so yeah, this I don't know who's trying to call in, but it's I'm gonna have to answer in a minute, and I better hope it's not a telemarketer or something, because I'm in one of the moods today. I'm feeling a little frisky. I done seen my Viking longboat. I'm feeling like raiding a village, a small innocent village that isn't expecting me. I don't know. I mean, at this point, I would have to limp. But if you're someone who's resourceful, even a limping Viking could be quite a force under the right certain conditions. So that's a Benghazi. Well, I don't want to go over that. We're going to talk about some news today. But first, LaBeouf. Listen to what this motherfucker. Have you heard this story? You might have just heard he got arrested outside a theater. Oh my God, this guy. So check it out. Troublemaking actor Shia LaBeouf chased after a homeless man, demanding that the homeless man hand over a McDonald's bag in Times Square a few hours before he went berserk at a Broadway musical cabaret. He really wanted whatever was in that bag, a quote says. This is a witness. He had so much focus. If there were French fries in the bag, maybe he really wanted to eat them. Oh, that's a brilliant conclusion to come to with such limited information. He added, he was dodging people and yelling, "Yo, come on." He was on a mission. It was so bizarre. Yeah. Now, this is off Fox News, and I'm going to share a little something they wrote here. They say, LaBeouf's frightening public food grab was just a prelude to a far weirder meltdown to come. But guess how they spelled frightening? FRY-TENING. Fox News, you're so clever. Where do you get these tricks? You guys are brilliant. Anyhow, within a half hour, witnesses allege the actor was smoking a joint and slapping star Alan Cumming on the bottom from his aisle seat in the Studio 54 theater. Holy shit. If you're going to melt down, go full force. I advise this. If you're going to lose it, what are you doing this intermediate shit for? I mean, you don't want to be Martin Lawrence walking around waving a gun. That's not exciting. You need to chase a homeless motherfucker, steal his fries, and then go slap another star on the ass. At a Broadway musical, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? That's part of a complete meltdown. That's the kind of shit nobody forgets. Nobody. Within a half hour, the actor was smoking a joint. Alan was a character, and he was very professional. He knew not to engage, and he carried on walking. He fell out of his chair. This is during the musical. He's creating a huge disturbance. He fell out of his chair, sent a few other chairs crashing to the ground during Michelle's solo. He was crazy. He was making everybody all nervous. Yeah, this is the guy that played in the Transformers, and I'm not a big into that kind of thing. Once in custody, he shouted "fuck you" at cops and tried to spit at them. This is fucking bullshit, he railed. Do you know my life? Do you know who the fuck I am? Do you know who I am? The complaint against him states happens all the time. I'm going to have to answer this. This is Kevin.
Hey, looky, I find cookie.
Is this fucking 10 Fish?
Yes.
Oh, motherfucker, how come you have not been calling in?
Because I haven't been able... I'm sorry, it's been hard to coordinate with the show, with you getting on.
What the hell are you talking about, man? You sound like somebody at the Special Olympics right now. I can't understand you.
I mean, it was hard for me to coordinate with you because I don't know when you're getting on.
Oh, okay. All right, you guys that don't know, this is 10 Fish, comedian out of Chicago proper. 10 Fish, tell me how your life has been, man. Have you been doing stand-up? Have you been talking to Ramsey? Give the people some updates on the mighty 10 Fish.
Well, Ramsey was in town since yesterday.
Uh-huh.
From the 21st to the 25th, 26th.
Mm-hmm. So you've been spending some time with him?
Yeah, we went to the Drunken Donut in Joliet. It's 821 Plainfield Road.
Okay. And this is in Chicago?
This is in Joliet.
Okay, so people that want to find you, I just want to make sure we're telling them the right place. And what was the address again?
The address is 821 Plainfield Road.
Okay.
Plainfield. Yeah.
Got you, bro. Hey, it is so good to hear from you again. It's been so long.
Yeah.
You know, I've been wondering what the comedy scene's like out there because I saw you posted a video of a recent act you did. What was that place called?
That's called the Drunken Donut.
Okay, how'd that work out? Is that the one? Was Ramsey there with you?
Yes, he was. That show was awesome. I love that show.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll find.
Yeah.
I was just going to say I'll share the link for that show on the announcement for this page because people are going to be wondering what the hell's he talking about. So I'll find the link to it. Don't worry about that, and I'll share it on the thing. But tell me how the show went, man. Tell me what it was like.
It was like they were saying it was the third best performance they've seen since they've opened.
Damn. You go, brother. There. All right. 10 Fish Works Drunken Donut 6/25/14. Let me copy this. Now, I'm not going to play it right now because people wouldn't hear it on my show, but I'll put the link to it on the Facebook announcement for the show itself. Third best show, was it rehearsed? Did you plan it?
I didn't really plan it. It wasn't rehearsed. I just kind of just went out there and did it.
Oh, that's awesome. I love freestyle, man. So you basically did freestyle.
Yeah. So
that's beautiful.
Yes. I mean, I had a couple jokes that I had planned, but.
Well, why don't you share a couple with us? Share some of your act with us.
Red Bull gives you horns. Not wings, people. It doesn't give you the ability to fly, and it doesn't make you invincible from getting gored in the asshole.
Woo! Go ahead, 10 Fish.
All Red Bull does is give you horns and make it possible for you to fight back against the bulls. But not the red ones, though, because that's your fuel.
This is comedy? This doesn't sound like comedy. Where did you get this at? Where'd you get this idea to do Red Bull?
Red Bull?
Mm-hmm. Do you drink Red Bull?
I don't drink Red Bull personally. I drink Monster.
Okay.
But I got this idea from a guy out in the upper Los Angeles area.
Have you been out there to see Ramsey by any chance?
I haven't been out there, but I've been talking to this guy on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Not Ramsey, but his cousin. His name is his actor's name is Michael Ferris.
Okay.
On Facebook.
So you guys.
Twice.
So you guys that don't know, Ramsey is a Middle Eastern descent American who came from Jordan, Amman, I believe Amman, Jordan.
Yeah.
And and we used to do shows all the time because I was trying to bridge the gap between, it seems like in America, especially in the more rural areas and the red states, that you just hate anybody from the Middle East. And I was trying to make an effort to show that it was only 1 or 2% of people in the Middle East that even dislike America. Most of them don't care. They got their own lives to worry about. And we were on a kind of a campaign to do that. He's a comedian anyway. I think comedy is the sweetest form of truth, easy to digest. Everybody likes it. And it was congruent with the idea of my show. So I would have him on a lot. I would have his cousin on. He had his cousin over, a girl. I can't remember her name because my memory's so bad. And Ten Fish would be on. We'd be on a huge conference call. It was a lot of fun, man. So what else have you been up to, man?
Just trying to get work, and just doing a bunch of comedy.
So can you tell me some of the names of the other places that people could find you out there?
Oh, my tags?
Yeah.
That, find me on Facebook at Comedian Tinfish. It's Comedian TINFISH. You find me on YouTube at Mega Tinfish. It's Mega TINFISH.
Yeah, and
find me on okay.
Go ahead. What was the last place?
You find me on Twitter at just Mega Tinfish or Tinfish28.
Okay. Now people know how to find you. This guy, I got to tell you folks, has a very unique comedy style. I watched him do a freestyle one time, and he was asking the audience, this takes a lot of balls, Ten Fish, for you to do this. You were asking the audience, I believe, for a superstar singer or possibly like a song to sing, and you did a Michael Jackson song. Do you remember that?
Michael Jackson?
I thought it was. I think it was either Michael Jackson or like. I thought it was Michael Jackson. I was sure it was.
I did an MC Hammer song. I did a.
That's what it was. Yeah.
MC Hammer.
Yeah, it was Hammer Time. That was the song I remember.
Hammer Time. Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. Because for you to just do that on the fly, oh my God! First of all, it takes a shitload of courage. But secondly, you got to have some talent to pull that off. So that's good, man. One thing you have going for you is you ain't afraid of shit, are you?
Right.
I get that impression.
Yeah,
but this is.
I've always been that way. I've always been the first one to jump up and go forward. First one to actually do something.
Yeah. That's going to pay off, brother. I mean, that is really going to pay off because that's something that 99% of Americans lack. You know, if for no other reason than the fear of public speaking. We're all so afraid to be judged, and people like you just remove that whole self-imposed limitation that says, I don't want to be judged, and says, fucking judge me. I got something to say. You know?
Right.
I think it's awesome, man. Right. I think you're going a long way.
Right. And I don't even care what people think of me.
Yeah. What do you do when people boo you, or have you ever even been booed?
People admire me for my bravery.
Okay. Well, that's clear. I could see that.
Yeah.
So you've never been booed. They've always liked your act.
Right. I mean,
that's awesome. I don't think I could do what you do, man. I'm not, I've always been a courageous person, but if I didn't have, like, when it comes to, it's different doing a radio show. I feel like I've always loved radio because there's a medium there where you're not being seen, so there's an imagination thing involved. But to be up there where you're on the spot, every part of your body language is visible to an entire demanding audience. They want to laugh. They didn't come out to see bad comedy. So you already have expectations put upon you before you even take the stage. And then the chance of messing up or not carrying the crowd would be pretty damn intimidating to me, and I think most people. So that is real.
And I don't even care if I bomb. I mean, like, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
there to help. I'm just there to do my thing, and if people laugh, they laugh. If they don't, oh well. I mean,
That doesn't bother you? That doesn't, it doesn't change
I'm
your...
funny. I'm funny. If they don't laugh, fuck them.
That's the way to be, man. That's why you're going to make it in this business, because you're not afraid of... Too many people would have a weak skin, a thin skin going into that, you know. I think Ramsey hates that I think you're funnier than him. He hates that.
Yeah.
But he painted himself into a corner, don't you think? Once he agreed to never tell the... He's the one...
That's exactly what I told him.
Mm-hmm. Because for those of you guys that don't know, he decided he would never tell the same joke twice. That is a huge limitation on a comedian. I mean, think of all the famous comedians you've known, from Jerry Seinfeld, Robin Williams, Rodney Dangerfield. These guys had acts. Even George Carlin. They didn't, they didn't just do one act one time and then never do it again. But it is a unique marketing strategy. I don't know if it's going to work for him. It's too confining in my view.
Well, there's going to be a point in his life where he's going to run out of material.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm afraid of. And when it happens, he's going to be really reaching.
Yeah. He's
So.
going to have to. Then he's going to have to hire a writer.
Yeah, that's right. I got a feeling he'll spend more and more time doing research, trying to find jokes, and he's going to lose his passion for it. Because maybe he could change. I don't see why he can't just turn it off and say, okay, I'm no longer the comedian who will never tell the same joke twice. I'm actually going to work on an act and repeat the act and actually get better and better at that one act. I might slip some different jokes in here or there, but I need a core act that draws people. Dennis Leary had a very specific personality. George Carlin is the same way. They had a very specific personality, and they repeated their stuff during different shows. And from what I've seen of him, he'll take a piece of paper with jokes written on them and go read them on the stage. You know?
I mean, like, Ramsey told me himself that he's nothing without me.
Is that right? That's good, man. Do the two of you do comedy shows together? Or do you just need each other's friendship, do you think?
I mean, a lot of times I need little vocalization off stage just to get my mind going,
I hear you. Mm-hmm.
Like ideas thrown at me.
Yeah. Do you rehearse at all before you go on? Do you stand in front of a mirror and tell some of your jokes?
No.
That's awesome. That's brave, man. That is totally brave. So listen up, Tin Fish. We're going to go to break a little bit early. Can you call back in about, let's say, about 1 p.m. Eastern Time, about 20 minutes from now?
Okay, so 12 o'clock here?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
All right.
All right, brother. I will talk to you then.
All right.
Hey, can you Skype instead of call, or you don't have the computer right now?
I'm in front of the computer, but I don't know about Skype, but I can try it.
Okay, if it doesn't work, that's cool too. Just call back in. But I think it's a slightly better audio quality is the only reason I was asking. You sound good, but you would even sound better on Skype. So we'll do that. All right. Well, either way, you can call in or Skype in at about 2 noon your time. And we're just going to go to a break early here because I'm gonna rethink the show a little bit to include you and Ramsey and comedy into it.
Okay. What's your staff name in case I don't have it?
It's mr.kevin.kierstead. And Mr. is just MR, not spelled out. mr.kevin.kierstead. And the rest of you that are listening, you can also use that to get in. I think we can do like big-ass conference calls. I don't know. I've always wanted to do a show like Whose Line Is It Anyway on this radio show. You know, give you ideas to act out live, stuff like that, just to be funny. But we'll do that in about 20 minutes. Does that sound good, Tin Fish?
Well, the Whose Line thing only works if you're physically there, because it's improv.
It's improv, but you could do it over the radio. Like I could say, okay, Tin Fish, you're President Obama, and you have to make the funniest decision possible about Syria. Go. And then you could, you know, you'd be on the spot. You'd have to do something.
Yeah.
I like that, you know.
Hey.
We can try something like that. I don't.
We can try that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, after the break.
Yes, sir. And I'm just going to play, for everybody else listening, and we'll play a couple songs for you. And I'm going to go refill my caffeine beverage here. And then we'll come back with the second half of the show till, I don't know, roughly from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So, all right, Tin Fish, I'll talk to you on the other side, brother.
All right.
All right, and peace out to the rest of you guys. Don't be late now. Y'all come back here in about 20 minutes. That is that.
Now you hear?
That is that, and here goes
You're
this.
listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Hey, Don and
Ladies and gents, thank you for checking out Truth on Tap. This is Kevin Kierstead, your host. I encourage you to interact and chat and call into the show. You can Skype in with mr.kevin.kierstead, that's K-I-E-R, stead as in steady, or call in to 910-NO-LYING. It's 910-665-9464. Truth on Tap delivers news and views with one core principle in mind, truth. This show brings that like nobody else. The real truth about news, paranormal sightings and research, politics, religion, and focuses mostly on human behavior in those areas. You can listen to shows in Spreaker, iHeartRadio, or even from the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/truthontapshow. For Spreaker, it's www.spreaker.com/user/truthontap. Or for iHeartRadio, you can go to www.iheart.com/talk/show/truth-on-tap. That's a mess. That's a lot to remember. Just Google Truth on Tap, and you'll be able to find all the ways you can listen to this wonderful show, which is wonderful because of you, the listeners and participants. Thank you again for checking out Truth on Tap.
meaning, kingdom, value, things you didn't know, spiky earthquakes, shooting children, and also silent, slanted voices. Physical place. Slow drifts of the screaming. Toxic language in the space of meaning.
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead. You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Express the same things, but with different words. We acknowledge the same curve, and those might have hurt. It's like the last line you draw to remind a past time, a fast-minded feeling of freedom, please to be recognized. And I can hear your doctors calling from here to say, kill bias, independency, and I'll kill the seal, cause the young himself is stealthy mass appeal. Where's my muse? Where's my muse? If it's like every word slipping through my mouth has been used, staggering like the old man feeding a third. With my glass eye reflecting half the things that I've learned. A windowless frame and a transparent room, filling up cracks with plastic assumes. Shape shift, nuance, venue. Don't stop doing cause this ain't over. Wreck up your life until you get sober. Don't stop dreaming cause this ain't over, my friend.
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
What up, what up? So you're back, Kevin Kierstead, Truth on Tap. Short notice here, sorry about this, but what we're going to do is continue this show later. It's either going to be later tonight or later tomorrow, I suspect. Got a situation that crept up here that I need to address, so we're going to do that. But I love the idea of doing like a Whose Line Is It Anyway? I would call it Whose Mic Is It Anyway? It'd be a different kind of show. And Ten Fish will be co-hosting with me, I suspect, if he's available. I don't know what his schedule's looking like when we return, whenever that is. So since that is that, then here goes this.